Hey everyone. Hello. My name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is May 5th, 2022, and I'm coming to you again for the second time for an impromptu live stream. All right, I'm coming to you live just because I felt like it. We have some unexpected price action, okay? I'm not going to lie. The price went lower than I expected, than I anticipated, and I wanted to address it, just to share some thoughts in a live stream for what it's worth, okay? So if you're interested, then, this is definitely the place. Just sharing my thoughts on the market, what I think is likely to come next, my strategies for trading this price action and all of that stuff. So if that interests you, then you're definitely in the right place, whether you're watching this live or you're watching a replay. All right. So I think it's important for me. Actually, one second. Let me just triple check that everything's well with the stream, that we're streaming well, and let's see, here we go. Okay, perfect. Let's see, here we... Perfect. Okay. Definitely like the stream if you come in and shout your name out. So, first, I like to just address the elephant in the room. I think it's very important, and this is something I learned the hard way, and I'm sharing, obviously you do what you want, but it's not a good idea to try to leverage trade tops and bottoms, okay? Obviously, you can get lucky, you can make it, and the idea of leverage trading a bottom or longing a bottom at, whatever, low leverage or high leverage, right? With whatever position, and then letting it work on itself and, making amazing gains. And you've probably heard stories of people that have done that and they've made life-changing money, which is great, okay? You can do that, and it's possible, but it's improbable. It's improbable because there's so many little things that go into the price going up and down. And when you're talking about leverage, you have a slim margin for you have a slim margin of error. You want to give yourself a better chance at success. So, keep that in mind. I think whether you think the price is going up or down, it's not a great idea to start getting into leverage trades, right? The best thing to do at this point, if you think it's going up, is to spot buy, right? Worst case scenario, your spot buys are underwater. If you're correct, you can always clean up that entry and sell at the next major resistance, or not even at all, and you'll still be in profit, okay? You don't have to catch the absolute bottom. And a lot of novice traders, and I'm a professional trader, by the way, for those of you who don't follow me, I do this for a living. I don't have a quote-unquote real job. So for a lot of people that get started in trading, they have the idea, and a lot of perfectionists, and a lot of us are perfectionists, believe it or not, that they want to buy the absolute bottom and sell the absolute top. You just have to approximate it, okay? And this is coming from someone who likes clean this and clean that. I love clean entries. I hate being underwater, but mentally, and this goes back to mindset, you have to be comfortable with being okay, not being 100% correct, but being close to enough, close to right enough, okay? So that's the first thing I want to address. If you are absolutely wrecked or super stressed that we're experiencing some volatility when, and I'm zoomed down on the daily time frame, nothing has happened in terms of, loss of support. Nothing has happened. But if this stresses you, you're over leveraged, and you may want to re-examine your strategy for taking advantage of the next move, either up or down. Does that make sense? So that's the first thing I think is important, because we're all here not for our healths, right? We're all here to make money in some way. So that is important. Secondly, I want to say that with the introduction of open interest in our market, things can be exaggerated, okay? In a little example, this is showing the liquidation data on coinglass.com, and I would say the past 12 hours would give us an adequate glimpse into what has happened. In the past 12 hours, we've had about $322 million in longs liquidated, okay? But that's not even as much as we had on the 30th of April, okay? It's not, you go on crypto Twitter, there's all kinds of mistruths and lies and stuff like that. People saying that, oh, we've never had this much volume. We haven't had this much volume since, December of 2020 or something like. Look at the volume chart. Look at what that did. There's no volume spike. This was a bigger volume spike. This was a bigger volume spike. Like, no, it's not the end of the world. And, a lot of people on crypto Twitter have nothing better to do, okay? No disrespect to them. It's just, it's fun to look at the charts. And obviously, they're probably zoomed in on the intraday time frames, either the hourly or the 30-minute or 15-minute, sometimes a 4-hour time frame. But you know what doesn't matter? A wick. Because if the candle doesn't close, it's not really that significant, right? I when I do my technical analysis, you'll see I consider all wicks and candle body closes. But when you're trying to ascertain a trend and a change of trend, you have to at least wait for major candles to close to kind of see what price is doing. And we haven't closed the daily. We closed maybe 2 4-hourly candles maybe. So just, word to the wise. I know the title of this live stream is emergency, but this isn't really an emergency. I just wanted to share my thoughts. You guys should really, really relax. And it goes back to my first point. You can't really relax when you're about to be liquidated or about to be stopped out. I get it, right? But this is not a great place to leverage trade. And if you follow this channel, you'll know I've shared this before. This is just my strategy. Obviously, everybody's going to be different. But there's only 2 instances, 2 markets in which I leverage trade, okay? And so my understanding of markets, I have 3, there are 3 types of markets that I see, right? As a professional trader. There's the up only market, okay? So that's the trending up market, okay? There's the down market, okay? Excuse the handwriting. It's kind of impossible to write with this pen right now. And then there's 3 sideways, okay? I will only leverage trade in 2 and 3. Reason being, I don't need to leverage trade in the up only markets. And if I do so, it doesn't really make sense because it's exposing me to more risk. You'll understand the way to make money is to be consistent and to reduce risk and increase reward. There's no reason to leverage trade an up market. The reason being is that you can simply buy a low cap, high quality altcoin that's likely, according to your analysis, to go up and make the same gains without the risk of being margin called, right? Instead of having to buy Bitcoin on leverage, you can simply buy that altcoin and you don't have that risk of being stopped or margin called. You can get stopped out if you put a stop loss, obviously, but do you understand? This is why I don't leverage trade up only markets. That reduces my risk. This is also why most of the people that you know who have made money trading crypto have done so in that market, in up-only markets, because they bought low, close to the bottom, and they sold close to the top, okay? Secondly, The down market, that's where I leverage trade. Why? Because I can't make money by just buying an asset and holding onto it. I leverage trade a small portion of my gains that I've made from the up-only market, and the rest I put in yield-bearing protocols, like something safe like an Anchor protocol, or in the past like Celsius or BlockFi or something like that, right? You get yield, your money's working for you, and at the same time, you reduce your risk. There's always risk, but you reduce your risk. This is the key. Consistently finding ways to make money while reducing your risk. I have lost so much money leverage trading when I didn't know when to leverage trade. It had nothing to do with my skills as a chartist or as a trader even. I just didn't even know all of this. This is why I'm sharing it with you. If you guys are getting value, then like the stream. All right. And lastly, sideways market, I can also leverage trade. But I'm cognizant of the fact that the market is going sideways and it's ping-ponging in a defined range. For instance, here, perfect place to leverage trade if you're not necessarily, if you're aware that you're in a confined range, in a consolidation. So you long the bottoms and you sell the tops. You long the bottoms and you sell the tops, okay? But, when you get to the absolute tops and the absolute bottoms, you have to be careful, because you don't want to be caught in a position against the trend where if you're at the bottom and the trend breaks, you're caught in a long position, right? You have to, then be mindful of your risk management. And at the top, same thing. If you're at the top, maybe it breaks up or maybe it breaks down. So you have to be careful when you're at the limits, when you're leverage trading these ranges, all right? So that's just the first thing I wanted to share. Next, as for what Bitcoin is doing specifically in terms of price action, all right, can't say for sure, but highly likely, based off of what I'm going to say from now until maybe 3-4 minutes from now, that we're moving up. All right, first, we're at double support. Okay, we have the support of this rising channel. Okay, a lot of people call this a bear flag. It is a bear flag in my estimation, and I did a whole video as to why it can't technically be a bear flag. I'm not gonna rehash it because this isn't that video. All right, just look for it on the channel. In any case, this is a consolidation reversal to me. Okay, and we've been going up, down, up, down. I'm anticipating the next move to be up, just logically. Okay, so we have this support and we have this support. This blue line of support, I'm going to zoom out just so you understand how long standing it is. This is something that we've been holding since the 21st of January. Again, when you talk about holding support, it doesn't matter that you wick below support. What matters is that you don't close significant candles below support, okay? And even then, you may have had some candle closes here, but that happens, okay? Just like in when we talk about Elliott wave, you talk about B waves retracing to beyond the 1 Fibonacci retracement of an A wave. That's the same thing. The maximum is the 1618. That's when you break that sort of limit of being a counter, and you're creating a new trend. So I hope that makes sense. Like for me, I'm at double support, and the idea is I want to buy support. Okay, I want to buy support and sell resistance. I'm at support here and I'm at support here. So even if we went down, I wouldn't sell because strategically it's unwise. It's just a low probability trade that we come down all the way here and then without a bounce, without a significant bounce, continue down. Now, it would be a different argument had we put in some sort of retracement, gotten rejected, and then went back down. In that case, I can definitely see how the case for the move down, okay, would be so much stronger, because that is basically a trend, a retest of the break, and then the trend continuing, right? But here, there is no retest. And you could say that this is a retest. Hardly. This is basically a continuous downtrend, right? It's uninterrupted, essentially. And this is what we've been in ever since 48K, the end of March, okay? So I'm expecting a major retracement, okay? Now, if that major retracement goes all the way up and then breaks out, or goes all the way up and gets rejected, either way, I'm expecting a major retracement before even considering a major break of this double support, okay? So, again, when you're talking about trading and what's going to happen, nobody has a crystal ball. We're talking in terms of probabilities, okay? Anything's possible, but you're talking about what's probable. For me, in my estimation, it's improbable that we continue to this area. So I'm still relaxed in my positions. I am indeed underwater in my positions, but I don't care. All right, here's why I don't care. Here's one more reason why I don't care, okay? I'm in an uptrending market, okay? Just like I said, I'm expecting an uptrend, so I'm not touching leverage. There's no reason to expose myself to so much risk, okay? Had I bought leverage, I thought we were going to turn around up here. I would have long been liquidated, okay? And I know a lot of people that have been liquidated or stopped out repeatedly, even quote-unquote experienced traders. This is why you have to know you can't have the same strategy for every market. You have to know what market you're in and respond accordingly. So for me, as I said, if I'm looking at a market reversal, one, I'm not going to assume I know exactly when it's going to reverse. I've been putting videos out for the past month and a half about when I thought we were going to reverse, and we still haven't reversed. But I'm still not giving up on the idea that we're going to reverse, because the conditions as to why I believe that we're going to reverse are still intact, right? So it's simple enough for me to say it's a likely, according to my analysis, that we're on support, right? Look at the VPVR, look at the double support that I just pointed out, that we're on support, but still I can't tell you when, right? And a lot of people who watch videos on YouTube want to know when, and if you can't tell them when, they think you're a quack and they unsubscribe. And that's okay. That's okay. But the seasoned trader knows, you know, trying to time it is very, very challenging, even if you have a good read on the market and good indicators and stuff like that. So what I do is I'm buying these altcoins at the base, because even though Bitcoin's going to go up and give us 140% maybe if it breaks this channel and continues to the top of the blue channel and then a bit beyond, altcoins can give you 100x or 200x depending on what you buy. And why am I buying altcoins, and why am I even more confident and comfortable in my altcoin positions today? Well, look at Bitcoin dominance. Look at what dominance is doing. All right, for those of you who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is a measure of the dominance of Bitcoin with respect to how much money Bitcoin has in its market cap with respect to the rest of the crypto market. So Bitcoin is the king coin. We all know that. As Bitcoin moves, most other markets move, right? Bitcoin dominance is essentially showing you that how much of a percentage of the cryptocurrency market consists of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin, market cap is really high, that means most of the cryptocurrency market is essentially Bitcoin, right? People are buying and selling Bitcoin. That's what's being traded. But when this dominance falls, that essentially means that money is being diversified into other assets, right? And that's when you see altcoins, Ethereums and Solanas and whatever, they can pump because there's money in them, right? So when you see Bitcoin dominance falling, that's when you see altcoins potentially rising, okay? And so if Bitcoin's falling, as it's been doing all day, And Bitcoin dominance is also falling. What does that tell you? That means this is one of those times where, although Bitcoin's losing market dominance, it's losing money, the market cap of Bitcoin is falling. That means the market cap of altcoins is rising, and they're not losing out to Bitcoin. Meaning, if you bought $5 worth of Bitcoin and $5 worth of your altcoin, typically, if that Bitcoin falls 5%, that altcoin is going to probably fall 10 to 15%. But when Bitcoin dominance is falling, that's not the case necessarily, right? And this is the prelude, this is the prelude to altcoin gain. So for me, when I'm seeing dominance trending down, obviously it's in a sideways market as well, but I drew this a long time ago. When it's trending down, this is an indication to me, right? Looking at the stochastic RSI on the daily, it's trending down. This is an indication to me that it's a great idea to get altcoins. And I know some analysts say, don't buy altcoins, it's a bad idea, it's very risky. No, this is literally when you buy altcoins. When Bitcoin is at support, a crucial long-term high time frame support, those altcoins are also high time frame support down 60 to 80%. This is where you make life-changing wealth by buying altcoins. Are you going to get the exact bottom? Maybe not. But it doesn't matter, because if you're correct, you will make your money back within a day, quite literally, because the moves these altcoins can make when they're pumping is unlike nothing Bitcoin can ever do, right? So that's the idea, that's the logic, that's the calculus behind why I'm not worried. You know, it's not like a belief, like obviously we all love Bitcoin, you can say I'm a Bitcoin bull, I'm not selling. No, it's analysis, my friends. You're using data, you're using Bitcoin dominance, you're using your chart analysis. I don't really care what the Fed is doing. I know some people do fundamental analysis. I don't really look at that. I don't care about that. What I look at are the charts. If you show me a chart, then I will include it in my analysis. I'm playing to my strengths. This is what I like, this is what I enjoy, and this is what I feel like I'm particularly good at, because I'm interested in it, right? Maybe I'm not the best chartist in the world, but I'm really interested in it, so it makes me good, I believe, okay? So I look at the charts, and I'm seeing, macro, it's a B wave. If you're gonna talk about it in terms of Elliott wave analysis, my A wave, my A of B, my B of B. This is my consolidation reversal. I need 5 waves up for C of B. That's my B wave. I pivot. I nuke. Okay. I nuke between 11 and 20K or something like that. I forget what the calculation was based on the Fibonacci retracement. But that's been my long-term analysis for months. If you followed this channel, you will know for months I've been saying Bitcoin looks like it's targeting 100K and then 15K shortly thereafter. Okay, you'll see my video that I showed waves. What did waves do? Almost exactly the same thing. Waves pumped to high hell and then it nuked. Okay, this is what I think is happening in the markets. This is what I'm seeing on stochastic RSI. This is what I'm seeing. Looking at the volume profile. So this is why I'm not worried, and this is my strategy. All right. Now let's zoom in for a second. Hi Vaughn. Uptrend. What do you mean by uptrend? So I'm gonna zoom in just for a second. And actually, let's stay on the daily. So, what is Bitcoin doing? A lot of you clicked on this video because that was the title. Short answer, I don't know. But here's what I think it's doing. Here's my best guess, okay? Just to be honest with you, right? My wheelhouse is Elliott wave theory. And I'm looking at this and trying to count waves. This looks corrective to me. That's where I'll start, okay? I don't see impulse, pure impulse, okay? I see corrective waves, okay? And I've said before, this looks like an A wave, initial break of structure. These 3 waves look like an A of B. These 3 waves look like B of B. right here, and this looks like somewhere in here. 1, 2. Yes. Okay. This to me looks like an ending diagonal, I believe. I haven't counted this in a long time. I was like trying to figure out 5 waves down, but I think it's a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 in some way. And so somewhere in here I'm not gonna zoom in. Well, let's zoom in a second, okay? But I'm seeing an ending diagonal somewhere here, okay? Anyway, I'm seeing an impulse here. So I'm still seeing this as the B wave, okay? This can't be the pivot, A of B, B of B, because this retracement has exceeded the 1618 of this, okay? So this has to be contiguous. This whole thing has to be part of this, okay? And if that's the case, then this is B. So I'm anticipating either C is just the final, or what comes after is a pivot, okay? So I don't know, but we'll zoom in for a second. So that's my best guess. This is a corrective wave. This is not an impulsive wave to the downside, and it's part of this larger structure, and all of this is a counter to this, okay? And this goes back to the reversal pattern I talk about a lot on this channel. Any reversal in price requires a reversal pattern. It's a succession of 3 corrective waves. An A wave, a B wave, usually it's a flat correction, okay, but it can come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. And then a pivot into an impulse, okay? So we can do 2 things. One, we can zoom in and see if we can't count this right here, because this is, I think, the key to understanding more of what's going on with this trend, this downtrend, okay? 2, we can look at another asset that's also mirroring Bitcoin's price action to get another vantage on what is likely to happen. We can look at BNB, we can look at Ethereum, and that is a useful way to get a hint. It's like keys to a puzzle or a riddle, right? And you get clues looking at other assets. So those are 2 things that we can do, and I'm figuring this out with you on the fly. All right, still looking at my favorite indicator. My favorite indicator is volume. It's a primary indicator, meaning it's not an indicator of indicators. It just gives you the straight data. Very little interpretation is necessary, okay? And still, I do not have a volume spike, okay? If this were an impulse to the downside, I would have got increased volume, okay? That still stands. If this were an impulse, meaning a 5-wave move down to the downside, I would have gotten more volume, okay? So again, this all seems corrective to me, and it's compatible or consistent with my larger thesis of this entire price action ever since the all-time high of April of 2021. All of this is a big flat correction, okay? And for my Elliott wave counters, you'll know what I'm talking about. Got my A wave. Once again, I need my B wave, so I need my impulse of the B wave before my pivot down to complete the flat correction. So my volume profile is telling me this, okay? So that's not really changed. Nothing's changed there. When I'm looking at the daily time frame, I'm still seeing, so for people saying, oh, are we going down? That's not what the stochastic RSI is telling me. Okay, the stochastic RSI is a really, really good indicator because it's simple and it's quite reliable, and especially on large time frames. So on a large time frame, what's it showing me? That from here, about, mid-April or the 10th of April, we've been going down, right? Very clearly downtrend. And in that same period of time, we've been going up in the stochastic RSI. So we've made higher highs. That's strong bullish divergence on the daily time frame. Question is, when will it play out Answer, I don't know. But as long as it's there, I'm very comfortable being long on my macro view of the market and thinking that the market is going to rebound. All right. So that's the daily time frame. I know sometimes people show you, the monthly trends. It's like, what are you going to do in the monthly analysis? A monthly analysis is good for like a large perspective, but you have to understand, within that monthly candle, you can have so many extreme jumps in price up and down that you can't really act on it. It's not actionable, right? So I think the daily time frame is helpful. Seeing bullish divergence on daily time frame is helpful. Also seeing that you're not oversold on the weekly, okay? So just looking at, I'm not looking for divergences necessarily on the weekly time frame. Okay, it wouldn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to see divergences on the weekly time frame, but the fact that the weekly time frame is oversold is also a good indication that it's likely to move back up. Okay, do we have some room to go on the weekly stochastic RSI? Yeah. Can we go lower on it? Yeah, absolutely. But still, it's not over. It's completely oversold. It's not an overbought territory, which is good. Meaning that I don't think that we should or could experience a fresh dump, and initiate a dump from these levels down. All right. So that's pretty much high time frame analysis. Let's zoom in real quick, see if we can't count this downtrend that we've been having. Okay. So if this were to be an ending diagonal, I don't think that this would be the first wave here because this retraces beyond the 618. I think that it would be here somewhere. I've counted this before, so it would be something like this. This would be the first. This would be the second. This would be the third. This would be the fourth. And this would be the fifth. Okay, it would be something like this. I think that this would be most likely, right? This is basically the last impulse of, or this is the impulse of this B wave, right? Of this counter right here. So every corrective wave has to end in an impulse, okay? So relatively speaking, you should have increased volume on this move, right? And you get a little bit of an increase, a slight increase, okay? But in the aggregate, this is still a corrective move, okay? So this is what I'm saying. It's possible, okay? I don't know for sure, but this is possible that this is just a B wave, all right? So, again, I'm not making my big money decisions on that as much as I am basic support and resistance and, kind of macro reads on the market, where we're at, just the likelihood of us turning around from here, all right? So that's pretty much it. Oh, yes, I wanted to get a clue as to what we may be doing given what other main players are doing. So let's have a look at Ethereum. Actually, let's have a look at BNB and Ethereum. Those are the two that I like to look at. Ethereum's typically quite bullish. So let's start with BNB. Okay, so BNB is what I used to call a cheat code before, because for some reason the price action is always so clear. It's very easy to read, relatively easy to read, not very. Okay, so in BNB, this is clearly, right, on the daily, your uptrend, okay? So this is where you hit your first all-time high in Bitcoin. You had your 3-wave move down. That's your initial break of structure. Let's go into log here so it makes sense, or else it doesn't look right. Turn our VPVR off. Doesn't work in log. So that's our A wave in BNB. And just like Bitcoin, from there on, you start forming your B wave, yeah? And so your B wave consists of 3 waves. So that's your wave 1, 2, 3, A of B. This is your wave B of B. This is clearly 3 waves. And then in B and B, you clearly have your pivot A, B. I mean, this is so easy. I love, see, it's so clear in BNB. It's absolutely crystal clear in BNB. In BNB, you are pretty much on the verge of that break to the upside. I hope everybody can see this, and I'm going to label this more clearly, okay? So this is why I erased my scribbles. Let me take off the VPVR once again. But BNB clearly shows what's going on, okay? And we're going to look at Ethereum and see if we can't see the same thing in Ethereum. All right. I hope you followed, but let's do it again. Let's try it again. All right. So, whoops, I want log. I don't want auto because I want the freedom to move around. Okay, so we have 5 waves up, okay? So we have an uptrend. Okay, let's just have our uptrend. Let's put an arrow to designate that uptrend. All right. So we had 5 waves up. Boom. After 5 waves, you get 3 waves. All right. Whatever this is, it's a 2-wave correction, 4-wave correction, wave 4 correction. It doesn't matter. So we got our initial break of structure. Let's just put our whole flat correction in. Mock it up here. So that's your A wave. Your B wave is going to come up here somewhere, and then you're going to have your wave C. Okay, now within this, and let's make this a little less bold so that we can work around it. Actually, let's make it as thin as possible so we can work around it. Within this, so this is your A wave. Your B wave, just like in Bitcoin, is going to have 3 parts, okay? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, A wave of B. 1, 2, 3, B wave of B. You can very clearly see a B wave of B. And here you can clearly see 1, 2. So A wave, a B wave of B. It's very clear here. It's very clear here, right? So let's change the color on that, and then we're going to zoom in. Okay, and we're going to make this a lesser degree, obviously, because it's not the same degree. If this is primary, this would be intermediate, right? Now let's go into this part right here. This is what's confusing us. And then what we're going to do is going to go back in Bitcoin and see if we can't see something similar. And this is the beauty of crypto, where markets are so intertwined. Even if you're having trouble reading any particular market, you can just look laterally at another market, knowing that they're usually in lockstep, right? So I haven't been able to read Bitcoin as easily as what I'm seeing in BNB, but BNB very clearly, if you want to dissect this B wave, okay, A of B, I'm just going to use my pen tool. You can clearly see 3 waves, right? That's almost undeniable. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's hard to argue there's 3 waves there, yeah? And here it's a little less obvious. It's a little less obvious, but I think it's clear to see 3 waves here as well, okay? That big spike is the tell right here. So even within this 3-wave move, right? You see 1, 2, 3 waves. But in the aggregate, you see 3 waves, and you see 3, 3, 5. Okay, so it's a flat correction. I hope you guys see that. Do you see what I'm talking about? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's a flat correction. This is complete. B of B is complete. Okay. So you see A of B, B of B, And then in any reversal pattern, if you're following this channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about because I talk about it all the time. You have an initial break of structure that typically targets wave 4 of the previous trend, okay? That's your A wave. You have a B wave that's counter to the A wave. Maximum retracement is 1618 of the A wave. Minimum retracement is the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, okay? Get 3 waves in A of B, 3 waves in B of B, and then this should be 5 waves in some way because it's the last leg of this B of B, or of this B wave, right? And when I'm talking about this B wave, I'm talking about this pivot, because this is just a pivot because you're putting your A of B, your B of B, you have a pivot before you go into your impulse. So this is the area of concern that we want to focus on, okay? So let's get rid of this. So, you know, we've got the context. Let's clean it up. Let's just focus here on our count. And counting corrective waves is something that not very many people do because it's not very easy to do. Follow a lot of people that do Elliott waves. A lot of people like to count trends, right? Like 5 waves here, 5 waves there. But a lot of people get tripped up counting corrective waves, and for good reason. It's the trickiest part of Elliott wave theory, right? And I think if you're interested in Elliott wave theory, spend time really honing your skills counting corrections, reading corrections, counting corrections, because that is, I think, where the money's made. Because, right, any good reversal or any trend starts with a reversal, either up or down. Okay, so let's make this a little thicker. I don't like that color. Let's put a more conspicuous color, something like blue. Yeah. So guys, if you're getting value, please like the video. All right, so that's I think that is kind of undeniable. That's an initial break of structure that breaks that previous downtrend, and this is clearly 3 waves initiating B, okay? And B is made up of 3 waves itself. So that's A of B. This is 1, 2, 3, clearly B of B. So we're waiting for C of B, okay? And what I think we're getting now is, if we can count this, I'm going to move this out of the way. If we can count this, this is the key to understanding where we're at, okay? So I'm going to go and drop down onto the 4 hourly to see a little more detail. And it's possible that I don't know why, maybe in the past I tried to count this and I got a ending diagonal. That's possible, but let's see what we have here. So let's see. I'm seeing 3s. I'm seeing 3s. Are you also seeing 3s? I'm seeing 3s. Which means an ending diagonal, okay? So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 here. And I think this is why so many people are having trouble with this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's wave 2. 1. 1, 2, 3 perhaps. And what we were in perhaps was a complex wave 4. 1, 2, 3. And wave 5 is not yet complete, perhaps. That's my best guess. Ending diagonal. And we're in wave 5, but have yet to complete wave 5. That's my best guess. So this is for BNB. We're going to switch back to Bitcoin and see if we can't replicate this analysis, right? Just, see if we can't get something like that. Okay. This is my best guess. This is what I think is going on. And BNB really helps. BNB, sometimes it's hard to read in a particular asset. You just look and see where you can read it. But this whole thing is for those of you who are into Elliott Wave, you're probably geeking out on this. This whole thing is the pivot, right? Because remember, we zoomed out on the daily and we saw that we'd already put in our A of B and B of B, right? Our A and B of B are already printed. That means this is the last move before reversal. So this is also why, just risk to reward, it's a bad idea to go short here. Now, it doesn't mean you have to jump in. Not necessarily. You could start laddering in, but when we do start going, we're going to go, okay? So that's what I'm seeing in BNB. Let's quickly look at Ethereum, and then we'll go back to Bitcoin. Let's see, Ethereum. So in Ethereum, I'm seeing the same thing, okay? You had your big... What am I doing here? So that was my initial break of structure. I said that was my B wave, A, B. Yeah, okay. I have the same thing in Ethereum. I have the same thing in Ethereum, except on a smaller scale, because Ethereum's already pumped quite a bit. So I've got my phi ratio at 7,831, meaning when everything starts to pump, I don't see Ethereum breaking 7,831. And I calculated that using the A wave right here, right? I took the 1618 of this A wave. That's how I got 7,700, something like that, okay? And so yeah, just like in BNB, we're in the B wave. This was the 3 waves of A. This is wave A of B. This is clearly 1, 2, 3, right? B of B. This is the pivot. This is A, initial break of structure, targeting wave 4 of the previous trend. Once again, this shit is consistent, right? This is 1, 2, 3 waves. Let's see. This is wave A of B of this smaller B. Wave B of B of this smaller B. This is our ending diagonal, I think it is. We're going to zoom in in a second to see, of our B wave of the pivot. There's consistency here. So again, just using Elliott wave, using other means, again, you're close to a reversal, right? The question is, people will say, oh, you're full of it because you can't tell us exactly when it's going to reverse. If I could, I would be a Brazilianaire, right? That's not the point, though. The point is to play the probabilities. You want to look and see what's more likely and play that. That's why around now, just buy, and you know, one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be really, really, really in the green, because that's how it's going to move. All right. So now let's look at this on the smaller time frame, on the 4-hourly time frame. See if we can't count this ending diagonal here. Again, I'm seeing evidence of an ending diagonal. And for those of you who don't know Elliott wave analysis, an ending diagonal is an impulsive wave, except that it goes, instead of 53535 wave count, you get a 33333. So 5 sets of three wave counts, okay? So here's what I'm seeing. Once again, just like in BNB, and I like these high market cap, basically they have a decent amount of dominance in the crypto market. They kind of tell you the trends. When I can't read Bitcoin, or I'm having trouble reading Bitcoin, or I need a second opinion, that's what I go to. So that's a strategy that you can use as well. I clearly have 3 waves here. Clearly have 3 waves here. So that's wave 2 for me. Wave 3 for me. Let's see. Wave 4, and maybe an ending diagonal in an ending diagonal in wave 5. It's very possible. right? So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's wave 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, 4 of 5, 5 of 5. Maybe this is it. Okay. In any case, I'm seeing an ending diagonal. I'm seeing this to be the last, the impulsive wave of B. Okay. So what comes after this is maybe a pivot and an impulse, or just a straight up impulse. Okay. In either case, we're close to the end. And now let's go back to Bitcoin and see if we can't use some of the insights that we've gleaned from BNB. If you guys are getting value from this, because I'm all about like not telling people like this is this and that is that, but showing my process. And if you also do your thing and you find value in it, you can do it too, right? That's the key. At the end of the day, you have to make your investment and trade decisions. You can't really rely on, or you shouldn't rely on anybody else, right? You have to garner and gather the ability and the skills, develop the skills to be able to make your own calls. And so if you're getting value, definitely like and subscribe, because I'm all about like teaching whatever I know and consistently or constantly, perpetually learning. So I watch other analysis, and it's not always good, but I'm still watching, because ever so often people teach me stuff all the time, right? Even from bad analysts, I learned something that I didn't know, right? You don't have to necessarily be good to teach me something I didn't know. And I would consider a bad analyst not somebody who gets things wrong, but somebody who is overly confident, has no perspective, has no patience, doesn't get the basics, okay? It doesn't matter if your analysis is wrong. It's just, do you have the basics? Anyway, let's look at this Bitcoin impulse and see if we can't count it, just like we counted BNB and Ethereum. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. That's my wave 1, perhaps. That's my wave 2 I'm seeing. That may be my wave 3. This is my wave 4. This is perhaps wave 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, 4 of 5. I think this is it. I think this is my ending diagonal. I think this is it, okay? And it wouldn't surprise me that it would be so, because look at what we're testing here. Look at the test, your ultimate test of the ultimate support, okay? And for those of you who just jumped in or don't know what I'm talking about, this is the support we've been holding all along during the course of this entire correction, okay? All of this is a correction, mind you. And every single time we went up in a major way, and I claim that my analysis is showing me that it's likely that we're going to test the tops of this wedge and perhaps even break it slightly to attack 100K. If that's the case, then it makes sense that we would test the bottom of the blue, right? I know we did here, right? We tested it. And before we launch, why not test it once again, spring from here to go up? So that's what I'm seeing, right? That's the hour-long response to the initial question that I posed in this video. What is Bitcoin doing? I don't know, but I think based off of everything I laid out in this video, it's very likely that at some point soon, based off my Elliott wave analysis, based off my volumetric analysis, based off of my basic support and resistance, classical technical analysis, that at any point we go up, and I don't know when that is, so I am not messing about trying to short support, and I'm not selling my positions. That's the last thing I'm doing. I believe that we're very close based off of what I'm seeing in BNB, based off what I'm seeing in Ethereum. We're in the pivot stage, which is the final stage of any reversal pattern. Yeah, it's a final stage of any reversal pattern. Like here, you see your A wave, your initial break of structure, targeting wave 4 of the previous correction. You see your B wave. This is wave A of B. This is wave B of B. Here, it's kind of tricky, actually, to be honest. It's harder to read in Bitcoin, or maybe I'm just not seeing it as easily. Not seeing Okay. Here's what would make more sense. Here's what would make a lot more sense. Right here. And that would make it consistent with what I'm seeing in Ethereum and in BNB. Okay, this is an A, unmistakably so. Fuck it. Let me just do this by hand. This is an A, unmistakably so. This is your B right here. This is your pivot starting right here. A of B. This is B of B. And this right here. Yeah, this is B of B. This is B of B. 1, 2, 3. This is the ending diagonal, perhaps, of B of B. Okay, that's just a guess. I don't exactly know. I think it's a little more challenging to read this Bitcoin price action than it is the ones I just read. In any case, you know, I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer here, and I bought here. I'm still okay. You know, I'm underwater, but I'm still okay because the calculus is such that it's highly probable that I become very rich with a little time letting this price action play out. So that's it from me. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions, love to hear what you think. You know, what your analysis, what your analyses are, right? I love doing this YouTube thing. I don't do it for money. I just get paid by trading and, you know, investing and stuff like that. But YouTube's very nice because I get to share my ideas and hear your ideas. And, you know, some of you are complete beginners. Some of you are professionals as well, your peers. But, you know, everybody has good ideas. So even sometimes you have bad ideas. It's fine. Like, I like ideas. If it's a bad idea, it's a bad idea, whatever. But if it's a good idea, I'll learn something, even from a complete beginner. So definitely interested to hear what you guys think of the analysis, what you guys are seeing, and why you're seeing it, right? So that's pretty much it for me. Unless you guys have any questions, you want to look at any particular asset, you know, that's related to technical analysis, because that's my wheelhouse. I don't really care what Jerome Powell says or whatever. Like, you know, I don't give a damn about that. I'm just looking at the charts. So yeah, just let me know. If not, I'm going to end the stream. So yeah, let's look and see what's everything doing. Everything's still crazy red. It's really red, except for a few things. There's a few things that are starting to bounce. But I think when we do get the bounce, it's going to be pretty quick, pretty swift, and you're going to see this flip, meaning you had all these long liquidations, you're going to see all these short liquidations, right? Because it's just gonna, that's what happens at bottoms. People get really bearish at bottoms, and, you know, people who have no experience start to short bottoms and they get liquidated. Let's see what, last thing, let's see what the rich people are doing. Let's see what the institutions are doing. All right, so this is Phemex. For those of you who don't know, I look at this on occasion on the channel. Phemex is basically an exchange where, you know, institutions and really high figure, high dollar, high net individuals play the markets, right? They bet on the price to go up or down. And so the longs have been steadily increasing ever since the 11th of April, right? And you can look at the Bitcoin chart where that corresponds to, but essentially the longs have been steadily increasing since 11th of April, and even in today's carnage, big money has been longing the price. So, you know, do with that what you will, Meanwhile, shorts, I think this is funny, shorts have been kind of up and down ever since that same date, right? But right here, so they got squeezed a few days back, and then today they did the squeezing. They squeezed some longs, and that's pretty much what this is. I don't think that big money, and you can even check this in the data, you can see Phemex, pretty much what institutions, smart money isn't opening shorts here. If you see a spike in shorts, that's essentially people that got liquidated or stopped out, right? They were forced to go short. This is why you see an increase in shorts. But smart money is not going to short support. Your average retail investor who doesn't know any better is going to, the trend is your friend until the end. They're going to probably short support, right? 5 weeks into a downtrend. But no, smart money is not shorting support. So that's interesting to me. If this were really the start of a new downtrend, this would be higher. Kind of like what you saw here. Okay, so that's my take. That's what I'm seeing on the markets. That's what I'm seeing in on the chain, right? That's reading a chart too. That's why it interests me. If it's not a chart, I don't want to talk about it, really. All right, that's it for me. Guys, relax. Have good strategies that include minimizing risk. That's the name of the game. Minimize risk, increase reward. Take asymmetric bets and have a strategy. Know what market you're in. Are you in an up market? Are you in a down market? Are you in a side market? Are you at support? Are you at resistance? And act accordingly. Give yourself a chance. If you're buying on leverage here, I said this at the beginning of the stream, but I'm going to repeat it. If you're buying on leverage here, you're not giving yourself a chance. There always are traders out there in the world that are able to time the market perfectly, and they can get into a high leverage trade at the absolute bottom. Okay? But if you're not that trader, and most of us are not that trader, and you don't need to be that trader to be wildly successful in the market. Some of the most successful traders in the market. I have a friend. He wrote the Market Wizards book. You may or may not know that series of books. Okay? It's called Market Wizards. He interviews the best traders in the world. They all do this. Okay? And a lot of them are, more than half the time, they're wrong on where the price is going to go. So if the best traders in the world can't tell you where the price is going to go, that lets you know trading isn't about necessarily knowing where the price is going to go and when it's going to go there. It's all about, minimizing your risk and maximizing your reward and being consistent and doing that over and over and over again until you're profitable. So this isn't the time, I think, in my opinion, do what you will, but I don't think this is the time to open a leveraged long. No, it's a time to buy on spot because the odds are in your favor that the price is going to reverse. Very simple. Keep it simple. Zoom out and just wait. Good trading most of the time is boring. It's not sexy. And it's fun as hell when the price is rallying in your favor, but most of the time it's sideways and preparing to do that. All right, so that's it for me. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Good luck trading, my friends. Make lots of money, and I'll see you guys in the daily update tomorrow morning. Bye. Oh, don't forget to like the stream on your way out.